PCS Laundry Live. Broadcasting live in front of the Lexington Laundromat in White Plains, New York. To apparently no one yet. But you'll get here. I gave you plenty of notice. So get in the house and let's do this. Week number 9 underway. I'm coming into this saying to myself, is this going to be the week that we just go off the rails and suck? Because that really hasn't happened yet. It's been working out okay. Everything seems to be flowing smooth, but you just never know. So we're going to walk a little bit today and heading down to the federal courthouse. V. Marie, Carol Bush, Sharon Mondry, hey, what's up? Welcome. I don't know, I like down there. It's kind of roomy and not particularly congested with people. And it gives me a sense of comfort in that I'm hoping that a lot of justice gets served there over the next couple of years. It just comforts me knowing that some serious reckoning could be taking place right here in my neighborhood. But anyway, we're going to walk down there and catch a seat. Weather's spectacular tonight. Obviously, you see it's a little cloudy, but that's not terrible. The temps are nice, so I'm feeling comfortable, which is a good thing. And best of all, the wind is non-existent tonight, so we shouldn't have the issues we had last week, which was horrible. And I want to apologize to everybody for that. Obviously, there was a little I could do about it because I don't control the wind. That's the deep state, I guess, or somebody running that shit. But anyway, I apologize about last week. It looks like things are going to be, we're outside. The wind blows, and you're going to hear a little puff now and then. But it's not horrible. This is just a fucked up city for wind. The construction of the buildings and the design, it could be like 2-mile-an-hour winds everywhere else for like a 10-mile radius, and the winds are 30 miles an hour in White Plains. And they just find the little pathways down through the buildings, and it's ridiculous. It's like a friggin' hurricane constantly. But it doesn't look too bad tonight, so I don't foresee us having any of those problems. I just walked across the street without even looking. Did anybody notice that? Well, you can't see me, so I just avoided being killed, which is another good thing. So, as always, thank you all for your undying support of Planet Common Sense on Facebook, as well as PCS Laundry Live. You guys are coming out in droves, pumping the site, sharing stuff out, overcoming all the obstacles and helping me build this thing. So as always, thank you so much for all your support. I want to take a moment today and wish my father a happy birthday. Harry Hazelwood, turning 78 today. He's literally, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him. One of only 2 people on the planet that I can say that about. But anyway, happy birthday, Dad. I don't know if you're listening or not. I know he checks in every now and then on PCS. But if you're listening, Dad, happy birthday. And everybody else, tell my dad happy birthday. If he's not out there. If you're out there, type in. Just let us know you're here. And if not, I'll let him see it next time I see him. Anybody wants to wish him a happy birthday. So, here we are. The Charles, again, I don't have my glasses on. I can't read all. The Charles Bryant, United States Courthouse. We've been through this already. You know what's up here. And hopefully we're going to see some serious lefty ass kicking here once things get underway. But I guess they got to distribute the reckoning throughout all the federal courthouses, depending upon where the digressions took place. But hopefully we'll get some of it up here. So I'm going to scroll and say some highs, and you guys come up with whatever you want to talk about. We got plenty of stuff. We didn't luck out like last week. We didn't catch that 5 o'clock news drop. Nothing crazy happened. I'm a little disappointed in that. And I didn't really prep anything because I put the post up and everybody was, we all saw what was going on Facebook today. We got a couple of topics we can touch upon, but let's get some highs. I'm going to scroll back. We already saw a couple of people Oh, check this out. A little list popped up. Your viewers. Request to be in your broadcast. Okay, so I don't even know what that is, so I'm just going to shut it down before I fuck everything up. We got Brenda Kelly. Hello. We got Carrie Dole. V. Marie, we already said hi. Cornelia Bates. Brenda Kelly again. Jim Thomas, unofficial legal counsel to Planet Common Sense and PCS Facebook. PCS, I forget the name of the show, whatever. PCS Laundry Live. Jim Thomas in the house. Got Mona Eve. Oh, you know who else's birthday was today, too? I'm just going to say this because it's the same day as my dad's, and she mentioned it. Mary Gunny, happy birthday to you, too. I'm not asking you how old you are. That's none of nobody's business, but I apologize for making you spit a drink, your birthday mimosa through your nose earlier today, but you know what? If you're going to hang around Planet Common Sense, you're going to have to just accept the fact that you're going to lose a drink or two out your nose every now and then. And if you're not, I'm not doing my job, so it's just part of the deal. We got 30 people in already. That's a good start. Lisa Todd, Valerie Meyer, Marty Faith Henderson, Bessie Dotson, all the regulars are here. Anybody who's been here for all 9, let me know. We got to come up with like some kind of merit badge or something, or a T-shirt or something at some point when there's some money for T-shirts, which actually could be happening in a couple more weeks, and we can talk about that another time. Probably not tonight, because I don't have much to say about it yet, but there's a plan in place. The T-shirt thing has just been an ongoing friggin' nightmare for the last year. Every time we got close, something happened to blow it, but I think we got a pretty good beat on it. Sometime within the next month or so, we should have some Planet Common Sense T-shirts available or purchase. I'll let you know on that as we go. Rob Kushmer, Mona Eves, Kat Anderson, Johnny Ray. Doesn't look like a familiar name. Let me see what you had to say. Hey, buddy, did you hear about Creepy Joe? I mean, I hear something every day about Creepy Joe, and I hit him up a little bit today with a couple of posts on the site. So if there's something that I didn't talk about already during the day, by all means, let us know. Johnny Ray, and welcome to PCS Laundry Live. Denise Robinson, John Kinney. Just threw my laundry in after work. Then I'm headed to the gin mill after this. All right. Hey, man, that's a plan. You got a good night for it. And sometimes you spend the whole week just watching the bullshit going on. And a little self-medicating on Friday night is not a bad thing. It's a healthy thing. Lisa Todd, welcome. Stephanie Pierce is in. I'm going to say names over. Deborah Messenger. You're not that saint. No, that's a different Deborah Messenger, right? Happy birthday to my dad. Thank you very much. I'll let him know. Dad, if you're out there, say hi. Dwayne Darla Elkins. I'm guessing that's 2 people, so welcome both. Truck Reg New. Anybody I'm saying your name wrong, please let me know and correct me. Jilly Sue is here. Bessie Dotson, we said hi already. Coral Worthy Turpin. That's another unfamiliar name, so welcome to PCS Laundry Live. If you've been here before, I apologize. It's, I don't recognize everything. Also, remember, I don't see everything that comes up because sometimes I get to yapping and I can't keep up with what's going on down there. So if I miss you, it's not because I don't love you. And I always go back on Saturday morning after I get the show posted up on YouTube. I go back and I readdress and hit anything I missed that needs hitting. So if I miss you tonight, I'll get back to you tomorrow. Johnny Ray with the comeback. Now, let's see. Nevada candidate for AG said he assaulted her in 2014 at a rally in Las Vegas. It's exploding now on the... You see that shit? Friday night, 5 o'clock. This one was just... That's exactly what happened last week when we got handed that lovely early Christmas present with the Mueller's folly, cahootery thing, scheme, scam, ruse ending. And you know what? I just missed it because that would have been great to talk about. So if you hear anything more about that, just keep filling us in. I'll try and keep up with it. There's no lack of crap for us to talk about tonight. We got that idiot Jussie Smollett. Oh, can you believe this? Can you believe this shit? Can you really? It's this nobody, this little B-list, little pissant, punk, nobody, nothing bitch is going to bring down the Obama crime family. I mean, you just got to love the irony of that. It's delicious. Over what? Over... I don't get the whole thing. What are they protecting this kid for? And obviously that's what's happening. You have to think there's money involved somewhere. I think our prosecutor from Chicago, Fox, I don't remember her first name. She's in a little bit of trouble, I think, because there's no way this is going to shake out that it was legit. I don't think. This is my opinion. Whatever, You come here for my, just my spin on things or whatever. But that's how, I don't know, man. Somebody's gonna catch some help for that, I gotta think. But we can talk about that idiot if you want to. Rahm Emanuel, I mean, how about him? Y'all caught that meme, right? If you didn't, go scroll, because it was a pretty interesting one. Connection. Okay, we lost connection for a minute there. I don't know how that affected y'all at your end. My screen just went blank for a few minutes, but I'm back. I got fucking banned again from inviting. And they did me dirty this time, man. You know what? I think they got a microphone on me or something, or they're listening through my computer. Because I said to myself, I do 100 a day, okay? And I could do 500 a day. I mean, they're out there, and there's little caches all over the place where I got them, and the newer ones that pop up throughout the day. And I'm not going to go through the whole explanation of how that works. We did that. If anybody wants to know, ask. But the thing is, I limit myself to 100 a day because I'm trying to do this. You're telling me I'm going too fast, which is ridiculous. Because when I do 3 or 4, they tell me I'm going too fast. I've had it where it was 1. I hit 1. I clicked the button too fast. Do you have it on a micrometer, to measure thousandths of a second, how fast I actually hit the button? Anyway, so I limit it to 100. I do 5 at a time. I count 10 seconds between them, and I wait at least 2 or 3 minutes in between sets of 5. Okay? So today, I said, you know what? I'm not even going to play that game. I'm going to try and throw them off even more. I'm going to do 97 today. Instead of 100, I'm just going to do 97. So I'll tapped a few in here, tapped a few in here, tapped a few in here. It gets about 445 or so. And I'm at 96. And I go back. All right, I'm just going to hit that one more. I'm going to leave 3 in case anything pops up later, blah, blah, blah. I hit number 90, and I swear I said it out loud probably that I'm going to do 97 because I talk to myself. I work alone in a basement. So I talk to myself a lot. And I'm sure I said it out loud, and they must have picked it up. I hit 97. Bam! They banned me again. So, but here's the nice thing about it. Just before that, I dropped the Rahm Emanuel meme, and that's blowing up all over the place. So I'll end up getting twice as many followers from that as I would from the invites anyway. So, fuck you, Mark. That's the way it works. And that's the little end around games we play. And we're not harping on the Facebook feuds or grievances tonight, but that's what's up with that. We're going to look at a few more names here. Mary S. Joyner. Psst, hey, mister, got in at their Russian collusion? Nice. John Kinney, absolutely right, bro. I don't know what you're talking about, but okay, it's nice to be right. Karen Landstrom. We got William Loftus. You're my main source of political news, but I will send you stuff as I see that isn't from you. Okay. That's flattering. First of all, thank you very much for saying that. However, I want to be very clear that I am not in any way, nor should I be, a source of news for anybody. I'm an idiot who busts people's balls online. I'm an internet trigger provocateur, and I sell hardware. So I'm not your news guy, man. I go around and I look and I see what's out there that catches my eye and that I think you might find interesting as well. And I throw a little spin on it, and I put it out there for you. And it seems to be working, but it says right on the front page, entertainment website, and that's all this should be to anybody ever. It shouldn't be anything more. Stuff comes up, like that thing that popped last week when the Mueller's Folly thing dropped. That's news. I get it. We talk about news, but man, you're putting too much weight on me if you're making me your main source of news. I'm not that, and I have no desire to be that. And anyway, I thank you. I appreciate it that you're saying that, and that's very cool. But check out OAN or Breitbart or Newsmax maybe, and anybody else has their favorites. Obviously, I'm just not telling anybody to go look at Fox anymore because they're just a joke. Although Judge Jeanine's back on this week, I heard a little something about that. But Judge Jeanine's going to be back on Sunday night. But fuck Fox anyway, because you know what? It's not the first time. It's not going to be the last time. And that's getting set up to be a massive, massive problem. That's changing. Fox is changing big time. And it's melding right in with the rest of the, I hate even saying this, mainstream media. Yo, don't count on Fox. So, I'm not going to go nuts blasting them. Fuck them. I am going to blast them. They suck. That's ridiculous what they did to Judge Jeanine. And now they're slipping her back in there now that everybody forgot all about it. And you know what? If you're guilty of that, that's half on you too. You know, you let that stuff go by and you start looking at other things and you forget those important things. And that's important when they start playing those games. And Judge Jeanine, I'm not like a tremendous fan where I go watch her all the time, but she's a smart lady. I've met her a couple of times. I got to tell you a funny story too. First of all, this is a pre-story to the quick story I'm going to tell you right now. I was talking about Lamar at the laundromat a couple of weeks ago and saying how we're going to have him on. So I want to first of all say I got his name wrong. It's not Lamar. It is Hector. He's a great guy. We've been talking every week. We're definitely going to get him on the show. But we started talking to him about this last week after the show. I was just chilling and taking my laundry out of the dryer. And we're becoming friends, and we were talking, and we have a lot in common. And I said to him, we were talking about Judge Jeanine. And I was like, have you ever met the lady? Because, like, I think I told you guys a couple of weeks ago, I met her a couple of times just, like, through business things. Like, I used to work at Home Depot, and she would come in Home Depot. I used to work for this photographer, and she came in, had pictures taken of her family. And every time I met her, she was, like, the most pleasant person you could possibly want to meet. So I asked him if he'd ever met her. And I'm going to leave it to him because I'm definitely going to get him on. But he's got a pretty close relationship with her. That's interesting. Where he used to work in the court system as an interpreter. And he worked with her, and he developed a relationship with her, according to him, and told me that she performed his wedding ceremony for him, which I thought was awesome. And I'll definitely love to have him come on and talk about that. Talk about that tie-in with Judge Pirro. And just because he's a cool guy, and we had a lot to talk about. So we'll get that in the next couple of weeks, hopefully. I'm still trying to work this out and get comfortable and find my legs with this myself. So I don't know how it's going to work bringing somebody else in. I tried that thing with my kid, and it was pretty cool. Like, we had fun, but it was different, and it was a little weird, and I don't know, like, where to point the camera or if to point the camera. So I'm still working it out for myself. But we're definitely going to get him on. But, yeah, man, Fox, man, they're grimy. That's bullshit what they pulled with her, and the hypocrisy of it. That's going to be, like, one of our theme words for this show is hypocrisy, because it's a joke. The double standard in place, but yeah, you know what? They're putting her back on the air, and if you want to let that slide and use it, they're so big, and they're still predominantly going to tell you the right things, but they're gradually slipping in more wrong things and doing more wrong things. And I dumped Fox a while ago when they pulled that whole shit with Laura Ingraham and that little friggin' praying mantis-headed little douchebag David Hogg, where they made her apologize to him. And I was like, I'm done with this, man. That's I think probably the last time, unless I slip one in here and there, that I ever even took something from Fox News and shared it onto Planet Common Sense. Like, I'm doing a boycott. I mean, I don't make a big spectacle about it, but I haven't looked at Fox News in a while. I harvest from there. I make comments there because I'm trying to build a brand and I'm trying to build an audience. So, maybe it's some people who were looking for something a little better. Not a news site. We just talked about that. But so, yeah, I mean, I go there and I do what I got to do as far as that goes. But I'm not using Fox. You guys do what you want. I'm not going to, bash anybody for it. But yeah, man, going back to what I originally started with, man, don't make me your news site, guys. I mean, it's William Loftus. I dig that you said that. And thanks for the love. But, man, I'm not your news site. I just want to make you laugh and spit mimosas out your nose and stuff like that. That's what it's all about here. So, catching up on the scrolls. Coral Worthy, Turpin, Rand Paul asked for an investigation into how involved Obama was in Spygate. Okay. That's a lot to unpack for me. Not horribly, but first of all, you don't need an investigation into how tied into Spygate. I don't want to call it Spygate. You guys call it. I don't like to call it the popular names. The Russian cahootery shit. You don't need an investigation into that to see if Barack Obama was tied to it, because of course he was tied to it. That's a silly question, and we're going to spend millions of dollars investigating it. And it's a show. It's just a show. Because when they investigate stuff, they're doing it so they know. They're not doing it to find anything that they're going to do anything about, because they can't do anything. All they can do is say, look what we found, or look what we didn't find, or look what we made up. So another investigation feels to me like the same old song and dance, okay? You guys investigated Hillary Clinton, the guiltiest human being walking free on the face of the earth, for 2 years. And you couldn't do shit. So I'm not impressed with your investigations, Congress. You know, your House Intelligence Committee and this committee, and that you're full of shit. You're not going to do anything. It's self-serving. You want to know because you want to know. And that's what your investigations are about. So I'm not impressed with your investigations. And at the risk of alienating people, I'm going to dive right into this and say it, because you know what? I've been honest with you, and I've been candid with you about just about everything. So I'm going to tell you that I'm not a big fan of Rand Paul's. Rand Paul, to me, is a poser. Okay, and I maybe I'm a little biased, because as much as again, with the whole thing with his dad, Ron Paul was not an unlikable guy. He didn't have bad ideas, but he wasn't ever going to be like a president. The fact that he would even talk about stuff like that. So I guess I kind of got a little bit of prejudice, if you want to call it that, about Rand Paul from the things I felt about Ron Paul. Rand Paul's a different animal, though. Rand Paul's a little bit more mainstream, and he seems a little bit more in line with the right thing to do. But again, this is just me, and it doesn't have to be you. Rand Paul's a poser. Rand Paul likes to talk, and he likes to get in front of the camera. We disconnected again, so I'm going to go back like 4 words just to make sure you heard what I said. Rand Paul likes to look like he's getting something done, and he likes to know what's going on, and he likes to be aggressive, but it amounts to nothing. And he's not as bad as others. And this is probably going to put my head in the noose with some of you too. But Trey Gowdy's 10 times worse than him with that. Everybody wants to talk about Trey Gowdy like he's a hero. Trey Gowdy investigated Hillary Clinton, stood in the same room with her, asked her the questions, got in her face, and did whatever they do in their investigations. It's unbelievable that woman is still walking around free after a 2-year investigation into the dirtiest slush fund bullshit, the Clinton Foundation, you could even imagine. Into all the, you could go on and on. We can talk. I could take an hour just to list the shit she's done in the last 40 years. And you got in a room with her for 2 years, and you asked the questions, and you waved your hands and yelled and got indignant, and nothing came of it at all. It's a joke. Jason Chaffetz, the same thing. Another poser. And I even, not to the same extent, but I even throw Paul Ryan in there with those three. Not so much Rand Paul. I'm kind of getting off the path here because I don't mean to. Rand Paul's better than any of these guys, except for one thing, which we'll get to in a minute. Those 3 guys bother me so much, and it's not like a tangible. Yeah, I guess it is something you could really put. I'm so disturbed at those 3 guys, and I'm going to tell you exactly why. Because all that stuff went on with them in the room running it, with the Clintons, with Hillary Clinton. And it ended, and it came to nothing. And now, all 3 of them leave government service within a year period, well before the age you would think that someone in Congress or in the Senate would walk away from a very nice paying job with a great benefits package and millions of dollars a year in lobbyist bribe money. Let's be honest. In their 40s or 50s, and they walk away from that. That bothered me a lot. And I'm glad they're gone, but it seems suspicious to me, and it seems like let's get the fuck out of here now and get away from this so everybody forgets about us. That's my take on how that always. And again, going back to Rand Paul, he's not that bad, but that the stink of that is on him a little bit for me. And you know, the current exclamation point at the end of the sentence for Rand Paul is what happened last week or the week before, where he was one of the dozen in the Congressional Swampublican Caucus that voted with the Democrats to not let your president protect you at the border. So Rand Paul's got some strikes against him. I want to like Rand Paul. I really do. And yeah, we got to get into this one day. My whole thing about like the libertarians and all that. I line up very, very well with the Libertarian Party and libertarian ideology and less government and all that. Right up to the point where like they just don't show up for elections, or they show up, you know, with the people they show up with and say, here's our candidate at the last minute. You know, like, what about us? I don't have any intentions of coming in here and getting into this tonight, but like, you know, since we touched on it, like 2016 was the most third-party winnable presidential election in American history. And you didn't even come. So, you know, libertarians, I know a lot of you are working hard. If you're listening, Elaine, you know, I please don't take this wrong. Please don't take this badly. I'm not like slamming that. I know how hard you work and I know what you do. Elaine Joan, if you're listening. So please don't take this like that. But it's just, I want you guys to be awesome. I want you guys to be a legit party and come to the game. But you gotta step it up a little bit with that. Anyway, I'm getting way off on a tangent now here. But Rand Paul investigations. I'm incredibly unimpressed, and you know, we'll watch it and we'll see what happens. But I'm not looking for much to come out of that. So, moving along, Bessie Dotson. I heard Fox could be facing 20 years. That's what they're talking about. You know, it's silly to kind of talk about stuff like that when you don't even know if she did anything wrong yet. I mean, obviously she did, but it's not on paper and it's not documented. So talking about she's going to do 20 years kind of sets the bar and gets people happy and excited. And what's her first name? I don't even remember her first name because it's just like, who cares? You know, I shouldn't know. I shouldn't even know a state's attorney from Chicago's name at all because it's none of my business. They do dumb shit. Like, get that idiot. Just let him go. So, if anyone remembers her first name, Kathy, it's something with a K, I think. So, 20 years for Fox. Yeah, good. Let's see what happens with that. Maybe they'll just tell him, like, let her say she's sorry and you know, just leave the bond like Pussy did, and it's all good. So, all right. Sally Hackney, that was a great ROM meme. That was the ROM meme. If you guys didn't see it, you know what? I go back and check it out, and you'll understand what we're talking about. I'm sorry about the pinky. I gotta tell you, it was the most exquisite blend of being proud of and being slightly ashamed of a piece of work that I did. That one was reaching a little bit, and I told you I had to scroll through some pretty unsightly pictures, which I will not describe, to get to the one that really worked for it. But thank you very much for saying that, Sally. Appreciate it. I always like when you all enjoy the work. Makes it all worthwhile. Richie Page. Also, the punk is gay. No wonder B.O. is helping. You know what? I'm not going to get into bashing anybody for who they fuck. It's none of nobody's business. So, not to say you shouldn't, but I don't judge that way. William Loftus, just skipped a few seconds. Yeah, I had two of them tonight. I had two little breaks, which is funny. I mean, I think I had that happen once before, but I had two tonight, like back to back. So let me know what happens. Thank you. Appreciate that, William. Just let me know. When any stupid shit happens like that, let me know. Not that I know if I'll be able to do anything about it, but it's better if I know. So Stephanie Pierce, the clothespins. That was great. It was a good meme. That was such a good meme. I get these ones. It's so funny, the whole process with the memes, and I'll never figure you guys out. because I'll do 2 or 3 a day, whatever. You know how I do. I think I got like 1,500. This might even be close to 2,000 now in a year and a half. That's a little annoying. But I'll sit there and do a meme, and I'll be like, this is awesome. This one's great. I'm getting the Chris Matthews tingly feeling up my leg about this one, and I'll put it up and I'll be like, oh yeah, that's good. And I'm like, what do you mean it's good? It's good. And then the next one, I'll be like, all right, this is a throwaway, whatever. You know, I'll put it up anyway because I put up pretty much everything. And it'll blow up and get 600 likes. And I'll never figure you guys out. But the Jussie, the Rahm Emanuel meme was that's one I'm going to put on my resume one day. If there's ever like an industry where like, you know, there's for meme making. I like that one. That one and me in the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel. That's my benchmark. That's my all-time favorite. And you know what I like too that never really caught on was the ones with George Soros as the Wizard of Oz. Pay no attention to that Nazi behind the curtain. I did a couple with that theme, and I always liked them too. But hey, let me know which ones you like. We should do like a best of or a top 10 maybe. I think we did that actually for the anniversary. The 1 year anniversary, we had everybody was like popping up their favorite memes and stuff. So maybe we'll have like a top 5 meme once we have like some prizes to give out, some t-shirts or whatever. T-shirts are coming. Did I mention that? Well, they're not really coming, but they're close to coming. Okay. How are we doing on time? Man, it's the funniest thing. Time just goes so funny when I'm doing this. Like, I feel like I've been talking for like 5 minutes, and it was like 35 minutes already. And I just feel like we haven't even started anything yet. It's just me babbling. So let me get back to you and see what you all have to say, and we'll get into some of that for the last half hour. Maybe we'll go a little long today. Who knows? It's nice out. Lisa Varley Spring. Good God. That's a lot to remember just to invite. Facebook is scared of something. They're so stupid. They're so stupid. Mark, if you're watching, stop messing with me, man. I'm not trying to hurt you. I'm not trying to hurt anybody. I'm just a funny bitch trying to make people laugh and bring a little levity into everyone's lives throughout the day amongst all of the hideous shit we have to look at on your website and all the dumbassery that goes on. I'm just trying to make people smile. I'm just trying to make people laugh a little bit. Leave me the fuck alone and leave us alone. We're not bothering anybody. We're not going to hurt anybody. We're just making each other laugh and having a good time. Stop it, you prick. Leave us alone. Like the song said at the beginning, leave me alone and lonely. I don't remember the words, but whatever. It's better if I don't start singing anyway because we had an issue with that earlier in the week too, which I'm not getting into. But yeah, man, it's silly, and I don't want to spend it. I've spent so much time. I feel like I spent a ton of time on it, and I don't want to be like this prick that just comes on and bitches about Facebook all the time because, you know, I do that to myself when I'm by myself. Whatever. Going on, Johnny Ray, you should do stand-up, buddy. Johnny, I've been saying that to myself for like 25 years. Like, go give this a shot. Maybe try like an open mic or something. I really got to break. I gotta break loose and go try that because it's something I'd love to do, and it's something that I think I could. I kind of function okay in front of a crowd. Like, I can get up in front of people and talk. I don't know, man, because if I suck, I'll never do it again. But it could be something. I don't know, man. But thank you for saying that. That's an extremely, extremely awesome and cool compliment. I appreciate you saying that. But Glenn doing stand-up, appearing soon at a club near you. That'll be the road tour. Okay, Lisa Varley Spring. I keep getting hung up, and it's throwing me back to start a video. That happens to me when I watch back after the live show when it's just posted up on live, and I'll start watching it and it'll cut off like in the middle. I don't know. I still don't know what to tell you about that. Mark, check on that shit, would you? Thanks. Or have one of your Palo Alto puss cookies look into it for me if you don't mind. Thanks, pal. What else we got? Linda Bleefnick, what happened? Where you been? It's almost over and you're just getting here. I'm late. Did anybody say something funny? I don't know. That bitch who runs the place might have said a few funny things. But you're going to have to just watch the Dead show after the live show. once it's posted on Facebook, or catch it on YouTube tomorrow. Still didn't do the YouTube channel exclusively for PCS Laundry Live. I got 500 things I need to do. It's just fucking ridiculous. Like, I got so many things I have to do. And I don't know, like, anybody knows about like sites like this. I don't know shit about this stuff. If you haven't gathered that already, I don't know a thing about running a Facebook page at all after a year and a half. I still don't know shit. So I end up just like how do you do this, and how do you do it, and learn as I go along. And if anybody knows, like, and who was it? I'm sorry, I don't remember your name. I remember Alexander, the people from Political Pylon. If you're out there listening, like, what kind of staff do you guys run? Like, because I don't. I'm just me. Like, that's it. And the whole deal with this is like, I work 65 hours a week, 7 days a week, and like run this site solo with my left hand, and at night with my both hands and my mouth. And like, it feels like I need staff, but there's a big problem with that, in that I can't pay staff. So there's no option, and I just end up with so much shit. Like, oh, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do t-shirts, and we're going to get the lifeboat going. I'm trying to promote the book, which I'm not anymore, but, you know, I'm not like being a dick about it, but whatever. I got so much shit to do. I can't get anything done anymore. It's just getting overwhelming. All right, that's me bitching again. So back to the scroll. Brenda L. Kelly, my favorite internet provocateur ever. I love that name. I want to make a business card. Internet trigger provocateur. And like, just whatever. It'd be cool if we could make that an industry. So, Lisa Barley Spring, going to have to check this out. Okay, so that was you talking to somebody else. B. Marie, Fox hired the cheater from the presidential debates. Who can trust him now? Well, who could ever trust him? I mean, it's all the same song and dance, so whatever. Jim Ludgate, hello from Minnesota. Jim, you look like a new name. I hope I said it right. And welcome to Planet Common Sense and PCS Laundry Live. Hope you're enjoying yourself. Gail Bracken Lowry, Alabama here. What have I missed? Everything I just told Linda she missed, plus 2 more minutes. That's exactly what you missed. Gail Bracken Lowry, I'm thinking Judge Pirro won't be able to say what she chooses tonight. Fox has turned me. Don't trust him anymore. It's going to be interesting to see what she says about all this. I mean, there's got to be some sort of clause like that they popped in, like, all right, you know, maybe we were a little wrong. Maybe you were a little wrong. And let's just not make a big deal out of this and get everybody all riled up about it again. Let's just go like nothing happened, and don't say anything, and then we won't do anything, and we can just like move on. And that's kind of bullshit. And like, the thing is, we're all going to sit there. Well, I don't watch it because I don't watch TV. But you're going to sit there and watch her not talk about it. It's going to be this big elephant in the room that you're going to want her to talk about, that she's going to be wanting to talk about. And it's just got such an air of phoniness and bullshit about it. And that's what you get from these places. That's why you go to the smaller places sometimes, like I said. And I'm not like, I don't mean to like, I got no relationship with One American News or anything. I got that from you guys maybe like only a month ago. But they're pretty straightforward, and they just pump out the news without too much opinion, without any opinion really, on the main site. You know, Breitbart, take it or leave it, whatever. They're who knows what's up with that, and they have their own baggage. But man, Fox is a waste of time. Fox is just stupid. You know what I got to do? You know, it'd be cool if Hector does have that relationship with Judge Zanine, and me and Hector are getting along, and maybe he'll bring Judge Zanine down one night and we'll have her as a guest on PCS Laundry Live. That'd be fucking groovy. But let's not get. That's like saying that the idiot prosecutor is going to get 20 years when they haven't. We're putting the cart before the horse a little bit there. So we'll let that go and keep our fingers crossed. That'd be a cool thing. Okay, Mimi Blue, mimosas out the nose. Yeah, that happened today. That happens a lot, man. Like, you guys are like, oh, you make my drink spit out my nose. Well, what do you think's going to happen? You see it happen to other people. You just don't think it's going to be you. But there it goes. It happens. But, you know what's the other funny one today? When you guys, like, ragging me about the Vagisil body wash that I accidentally used 5 years ago. You just never know what you're going to talk about on Planet Common Sense, do you? With my 2 hot Latina 20-something roomies. And I accidentally, if you missed it, this is like 5 years ago, it just popped up in the Facebook memories how I was in the shower at like 10 in the morning, whatever, 5 in the morning, who knows, and grabbed the wrong bottle. And I'm squirting myself down. I'm like, this doesn't smell like my regular body wash. And I looked at the bottle and it was Vagisil Odor Control Formula Body Wash. So that's just one of the downsides of having hot 20-something roommates, I suppose. I never looked at them the same after that. But we can tell stories about that all night long. And we won't. My kid's texting me in the middle of the show. Shut up, Justin. You're beeping in the middle of the show. And you should be listening to the show and learning. Moving along. The porn tape of Obama and Jussie just released. John Kinney. Man, if that's real, like that's the first I heard about that. So if that's for real, pop it up. Because not that I want to watch it, but that could certainly be an interesting thing to delve into. I'm just going to scroll on from that. That's an interesting thought. If you got any more on it, it's legit. Put it up and let's see what's going on with that. Richie Page, am I saying that or is it Ricky? I like to get the names right. Is it Richie or Richie? Just spell it phonetically. Why don't they spell phonetically? That's fucked up. Let's make sure I'm saying your name right. Is the judge on tonight or tomorrow? I wish she would go on and tell Fox off and walk off. I don't know the schedule for her. I know they're putting her back on, and they did. You know, it's somewhat disgraceful that they didn't make a little more of a big deal about it. But they're kind of, like I said, you know, they wanted you to forget the whole thing. They want to just kind of sweep that whole ugly episode under the rug and hope you forget about it and forgive them and keep watching and patronizing their advertisers, because that's really the whole deal. And like not watching Fox doesn't hurt them. It's like not buying shit from the places that advertise on them. That's what you got to do. And you got to get a lot of people to do it. Boycotts, man, that's another whole topic. Political boycotts never work. They never get legs. You know, we boycotted the NFL for 2 years. The NFL is still happening. Players are still making $10 million a year to play with their balls and kneel and beat up women. So boycotts, now we can get into that on a whole show some night. So Richie Page, going back to that, Ricky or Richie Page, going back to that, I don't know when she's on, you know, and if you're getting your hopes up about her going off on Fox and telling them to fuck off, or I'm sorry, to box off, as you put it, I think you're setting yourself up for a letdown, because I don't think they're going to allow that to happen, and I don't think Judge Janine is going to be quite that unprofessional. You're kind of used to me. I would certainly be that unprofessional. I would probably get up and say all the things that you wish she was going to say, and then maybe even turn around and pull my ass out at the camera. I've been taking my ass out a lot lately for you guys. You know, somewhat covertly, granted, but where's Nanner Little? Because she's always the one that's asking about my ass. You know, you've been getting to see it a lot, even if it's just a little digitally manipulated patch of it under somebody else's hideous face. What do you guys think of those? The PCS ass face collection. I'm thinking coffee table book. I got to do a few more. But if it's getting tired, you got to let me know that too. You know, like don't be afraid to bitch out a meme like if I overdo it. But it feels like it's still pretty vibrant, and I still got some ideas, and I certainly got plenty of ass. So we'll keep those coming until you tell us not to. I always say we, and like I just said, it's just me. I don't know why I do that. It's a weird little habit. So scrolling. What do we got? Lisa Barley Spring. Yeah, the investigators are tired. Nothing happens. The investigations are tired. Nothing happens. Need a human with balls of steel and top-notch security to take them down. Yeah, you're not going to get that out of the Washington paradigm. It's just not set up that way. Nobody wants to stick their neck out because shit's just going to come back and chop their head off because they're all tied into it, you know. And the most innocent of them is even the most innocent appearing of them is tied into it just as deep as anybody else's. So, and it's like that shit the twat goblin said about, if I go down, I'm taking half of DC with me. Get on with it. That sounds like a plan to me. That doesn't sound like a detriment to it. Well, I guess it depends who she was talking to. That's a double meaning thing to say, depending on who you're telling it to, if I ever heard one. So, fuck investigations. I'll investigate. I'll go down. Shit. I'll straighten that whole shit out. V. Marie got his ass kicked pretty good once. You think he'd shut up? I don't know who you're talking about. We'll get back to you. Mark Hutchins sitting at a casino in Biloxi, Mississippi, losing money and eating lobster and crab legs. Life is good, bro. That's wonderful, man, and good for you. Enjoy that. You grab those moments. You grab those nights. Seize the day, man. Win some money. Stop losing money. Play blackjack, man. What are you playing? Tell me what you're playing. Because, I used to go to Atlantic City and play blackjack a lot. I used to do pretty good, and that seems like the best play. So, go play some blackjack. And eat some lobster for us. Jim Thomas. Trey Gowdy did absolutely nothing. Thank you, sir. Trey Gowdy's a poser. Trey Gowdy's a phony. Trey Gowdy's a big, I want to be your hero. And he comes up with, I'm so sick. Every time I think about all the time they put into that to come up with nothing. And that hideous, miserable gargoyle is still walking around free. I used to live, I don't know how many of you know this or not. Like, if you've been around a while, you'd know maybe, because I did this when I first started. I used to live in Chappaqua, like literally 2 miles from the Clintons. And it's like you could almost feel an evil spirit in the air walking around up there. That was my voting district. Could you imagine? You talk about like your vote not counting, voting in places like California and voting, wanting to vote Republican or Trump in a place like California or just in New York in general. My voting place was Chappaqua. What the fuck was I supposed to do? Like, you want to talk about your vote not counting. But that was a fun day. I don't want to start that now. Ask me about that some other time. What I did that day. That was fun. Man, she's got to go to jail. She's just got to go to jail. Or die. The only thing to me that would be better than watching her go to jail, well, it's two different things, and they're probably both equally wonderful. One would be to watch her go through the trial process, and especially if it's right here, especially if it's right in that building right there. Yeah, I want to see the miserable little goat tripping, going up those stairs right there. When she gets to the first landing, I want to see her stumble a little bit and her 2 wingmen catch her so she doesn't fall on her fucking head and bust her old fucking hips. Then I want to see him scoop her up and continue on up the stairs and then trip again at the top landing, because fuck her. You miserable old goat. I want to see her go into that courthouse, and I'm going to be here every day. I swear I'll come to watch it every day. And I want to see her found guilty, and I want to see her taken out of there in a blacked out van and taken right off to some supermax somewhere. That's plan A. And just the whole process, and watching the trial, and watching the face, and watching how the people react. Because I imagine if it goes down here, which it's not gonna. I'm just having happy dreams. But if it goes down here, just to watch that whole process firsthand, that would just be just fucking delightful. Plan B, for me, is a lot simpler. I want him to find her hanging with one of Bill's belts around her neck from the closet pole in the closet in the Chappaqua compound where she kept the illegal home servers that she deleted her 30,000 emails from. So those are my 2 dream scenarios for how Hillary Clinton goes out. This walking around free bullshit's got to end. She needs to go down. I just said Hillary Clinton and go down in the same thought and threw up in my mouth a little bit. I don't know if you heard that or not, but that's the natural reaction to that sort of thing. She's just a hideous human being. She's the guiltiest human being on the face of the earth in the history of mankind to ever not be in jail. She makes OJ look like a fucking jaywalker. If you want to talk about people not being brought to justice, Hillary Clinton's the queen of that. And that's got to stop. Now, whoever, Lisa, thanks for getting me all riled up on that one. I didn't think I was going to have anything particularly juicy to get riled up about because it seemed like all the shit today was just little stuff. But thanks. I feel better now. I got that out of my system. It's like therapeutic saying all the things I hope happen to Hillary Clinton. That'd be wonderful. You know, even if like she got attacked by a swarm of bees or something, or bit by a dog, I would love that. That'd be such a great day. Just to get to read, I'd laugh my ass off. I would literally, if it popped up on Facebook that Hillary Clinton got bit in the ass by a dog, I would do a half-hour live broadcast in the middle of the day as a special edition of PCS Laundry Live and laugh my ass off for 30 minutes. And then catch my breath like, wait a minute. For 30 minutes of just laughing at Hillary Clinton getting bit in the ass by a dog. So any bad shit that happens to her, please let me know, and we'll see how that goes with a live broadcast, a special edition of PCS Laundry Live. So we're getting late. Oh, I keep putting my hand in the way. What the fuck, man? Idiot. We got like 5 minutes left. But I'm feeling good. I'm gonna start moseying back up to the laundromat, but we're not gonna rush into cutting it off tonight. We'll get a couple. Plus, I get more views if I stay on longer, and I'm trying to build up minutes, and it's another whole Facebook thing, which we'll talk about some other time. But Aurora Tracy Bissig, I can't do anything. The congressman that is when I'm sorry, I'm trying to read this. I can't do anything. The congressman that is when they were investigating, the only people that can indict is they can't do anything unless you're a congressman that I don't know about. They can't do anything. So why do the investigation? Let an agency that can enforce arrests do the investigation. That's exactly what I'm talking about. It's just a layer over everything else. It's meaningless. The House investigations, the Intelligence Committee, and whatever committee, and the Idiot Committee, it's a layer, a nothing layer over the real thing. That doesn't accomplish a thing. That's for the news, and that's for them to make them a step above you. Well, we're congressmen. We get to know about that fucking idiot from the Bronx, the circus monkey, gets to know that shit. That's what that's all about. That's what investigations are about. So Alexandria Ocasio Circus Monkey gets to know shit that you don't know. And then bitch that she's not getting paid enough money. Well, oh my God, don't get me started with 5 minutes to go about that idiot. The whole investigation process is the biggest waste of time and tax money there is. Forget that shit. And then, then the classic conundrum is, who do you have do that instead? Because obviously you can't have the FBI do it yet. Because the stink of the Obama administration is still upon them. And it's going to take a while to get that scrubbed away. Same as the court system, your Ninth Circuit and all these judges that every time your president tries to do something, some judge out in Hawaii mysteriously pops up and says, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to turn that around. Because the stink of the Obama administration is on our federal court system. And there's nothing that really can be done about that until people die off or retire or just fuck up so bad that they have to be taken down. But they kind of know how to dance around that too. It's tough to get a judge taken out like that. So, there's not a lot of hope for a short-term solution to that stankage, to that Obama stink on the judges. But it's the same thing, man. It's just such a waste of time with these investigations. Just cut the shit and start just cracking heads, man. We need a reckoning. We need this to start turning around tangibly that we can see and that we can hear about. If they let you even. We gotta find a place where there's some legitimacy to even hear about it if it does happen. But it's so depressing sometimes, just sitting back and the whole be patient, he has a plan, and sealed indictments and don't, at what point do you do that? Because processing that and making any of that like a sealed indictment or a trial or just the whole process takes time. And we're a quarter of the way, more than a quarter of the way, out of time under this president. And you got to wonder what's going to happen after that, because you're not going to get everybody brought in and taken down and busted up and thrown in jail who needs to be taken down and thrown in jail. within 6 years. I just don't see it. And we're not close to being ready to even do it yet. And we're running out of time, you know? And it's early for this, but like you start looking at like, well, you know, who are we going to look at in 24? Because that's an open question. And everybody's got their like their popular ones, you know, Don Jr. or this one or that one, whoever. There's nobody out there yet. And there might not ever be anybody out there, ever. That's going to be another Donald Trump. That's going to carry on with this same attitude that he has and this same, he's a different kind of president thing, and aggressively go after. And it could be very, very easy for this whole country to slip right back into the status quo we started with. And we got to start working on that and thinking about that. And see Dan Crenshaw, you know, like I could see him at some point. Don Jr., he's not presidential material. And even in the abstract, funky way that his father isn't president. He isn't presidential material in the classic sense of the word. Like, you never would think this guy should be the president, you know, beforehand. And it's like, yeah, let's get a businessman. Let's get somebody who knows, you know, where the biggest problem is the economy. So let's get a businessman in there. He's maybe not the guy you would have thought of to bring in. And the line, like when the whole election was going on, like, you know what? I like Donald Trump, but I don't know if I want him to be the president. Again, this is 2 years ago, before everything. And I'm saying that the same way I say shit like, I like Shaquille O'Neal. He's a funny guy, and he seems like a cool guy. But I don't want him riding my horse in the Kentucky Derby as a jockey. You know, the shoe doesn't fit, whatever. But he has that X factor. He has that it thing that's special and that we've never experienced before. That is making him be a different kind of great president. Not the classical sense of the word, not the statesman-like sense of the word. He's got that thing, and he's got that X factor. And it's not a shot on Junior, but he just doesn't have that to me. He doesn't have that. He says all the right things, and he seems like a good guy, and he's right in line with the ideology. He just doesn't have the charisma and the chutzpah, for lack of a better word, that his father does. Maybe, you know, he's young, and he'll develop that over the course of time. But I'm not putting my hopes in that, you know? I mean, and it's a time thing, too, like 6 years. You know, you look at it, and you look at the circus they got going on the left, where, like, literally a candidate, one of the Democratic candidates could pop up and put out as the record, I'm the least indictable person in the whole field. Vote for me. That's like a high point on the resume. They're a disaster. They're a mess, and they're beatable. Like I could run for president. Well, maybe not me, because I'm a misfit. But they're so beatable, and they're so ridiculous and out of the game. We're not that bad. We're not bad at all, but it's I don't know. It's such a long way off, and there's definitely time for that. But we got to start looking into that and who's going to be the replacement, man, because this is going to be a tough guy to replace. I don't even remember how I got started on this topic, but we're going to wrap that up and let it go. And as you see, I'm getting up and walking. I want to do a few more scrolls and haze. Sally Hackney, I'm from Central Illinois, so we always have to tolerate those Chicago shenanigans. And that's a nice word for Chicago stuff. I got a lot of friends in Chicago, and I just don't get it. Like, I guess I do get it, because I live in New York, and it's the same shit here, where we got that second generation gangster asshole in Albany. Every congressperson in New York is just a clusterfuck. You got the mayor of New York City, who's just like the biggest dummy in the world. So yeah, I kind of get it, but I can't get my head around it, even in my own state. So I kind of look at like places like Chicago or Detroit, like, what the fuck is up? Like, what's up with that? How do you let this happen? There's a lot of ambulances going by tonight. It's like the third one. What's the hospital's right around the block. So sorry about that thing in Chicago, man. Like, it sucks. And places like that, and this is just a thing I say, like when I make posts online and when I talk to people online about New York or about parts of, most of New Jersey with your knucklehead governor down there. Where did you get that guy from? He looks like a fucking mannequin. That guy with that smile plastered on his face. I don't even know his name, and I don't care if somebody wants to say it. I can't remember his name. But with that smile, you look at that guy's face. I look at him, and I say to myself, if this guy ever got beheaded by ISIS, his head would go rolling down the street with that fucking smile on it. Like, he must have had surgery or something. It's funny. It's like when a dog smiles. Like a dog, they get that smile on their face. They're not really smiling, but they look like they're smiling. That's what he looks like. It's kind of sad, but whatever, New Jersey. But anyway, going back to what I was saying. Here comes a fire truck now. What the hell? I hope nobody's coming for me. When you look at these places, like New York, particularly the city, and we know how that works too. Like it's the urban centers, it's the cities, it's not the country, it's not the deep suburbs. It's centralized around the cities, and you're not going to solve that problem at the ballot box because people don't know any better. The example I use the most, up until a couple of years ago, was Charlie Rangel in New York City. And he was a congressional representative from Harlem, representing a low-income, low-end area, no offense or anything. And he was the congressman there for like 40 years. This guy was on like the committee that makes, I don't remember the name of it off the top of my head, and I'm a little frazzled, but like the committee that makes the tax laws and stuff like that, after being convicted of tax cheating and financial crimes. And they voted this guy in over and over and over and over and over and over and over again for 30-something, 40-something years. I'm like, these people have no idea what they're doing. They have no concept of what they're voting for. They vote reflexively for who they're told to vote for, who they voted for last time, who they voted for. There's people probably, Charlie Rangel will be dead 100 years, and they'll be voting for his fucking skeleton. So the cure, the fix for what's wrong with those places is not going to happen at the ballot box. It's not going to happen at the polls on election day. And they're going to need some trickle-down MAGA from the other parts of the country. You're not going to fix this at the polls. You need trickle-down MAGA from other parts of the country. That's my line that I use. So there's your little gem of the day to share with your friends and tell them where you heard it. Planet Common Sense, PCS Laundry Live. Bam. So heading back up now. We definitely went over an hour tonight, which is cool. Helps my views, and hopefully I get you entertained. I still can't figure out how I'm just able to talk for an hour mindlessly and just go on and on and on and on and on, like babbling and rambling. I tried to talk a little slower tonight. I don't know if that worked or not because I can't tell when I'm going. I almost just tripped and fell on my ass. You noticed a little jiggle in the camera. So we got a good hour in tonight. I had fun. And you asked some good questions and touched on some good things. Thank you all for coming out. Thank you all for supporting Planet Common Sense every single day and checking out PCS Laundry Live every Friday night. I love you guys, and I am out. Peace.